So I'm Bushra.
Yes,
I'm
Bushra.
in chemical engineering. So
Yes.
ever since I started pursuing my decision to go into engineering after finishing my high school, everyone used to tell me, "Oh, you're a girl. You should be a doctor or something else. Why engineering? Where are you going to work? In factories, industries?" I always used to be a stubborn reply that, okay, if the guys can do it, why can't I do it? I should be able to do it as well. After joining Unilever, I was presented with an option and choice to prove to the world that I'm an engineer, I'm a female engineer who is equal to the guys, and I can perform all the tasks that a male engineer manager is able to perform, provided the facilities and the safety insurance. So when I was given this choice, I said, okay, let's try this. I'm ready to try. So I started doing the C shift for the first time in Kalur factory. Okay, and in the first week, I used to observe everyone, the people, how they reply back, how they take my comments, and how, and the things that feel scary to me, the things that I feel a bit uncomfortable doing, and I used to point that all the things, note that down, and then I used to send my feedback to my colleagues, the factory leadership team, and I worked with them to solve the issues. And I worked with my allies, for example, Joshi Bhai, who has been an extremely supportive person in this sector. He took my feedback after every week that the things I felt that need to be changed.
Busha, how did you convince your family that they should not worry about you when you're going in the night shift?
So the day I notified my father that I am going to start night shift in my factory, the first thing he said, do you feel safe enough? Are you sure that there will be no security incidents, safety incidents against you? How can you trust the people around you so much? There will be no senior management at night shifts. There will be only one manager, and that will be you. Are you confident enough? And I said, I believe in this. I am 100% sure that the safety of the facility, Unilever being a global company, and they have ensured my safety at first. And what I did additionally was that we have a family day where our families are brought in to see the factory and facilities. So I brought my parents. I brought my sister, and I made them visit the facility as well as our colleagues as well.
And I'm a mechanical engineer. So right now I'm working in maintenance manager in soap department in Kalungat factory. Gender equality might seem like an easy things to do, but to implement the gender equality in Kalungat factory, we had to face a lot of issues in our area. So there is a belief in the local people that the lady manager should not work in the shop floor at night shift. So, this kind of notion actually is detrimental to organizational inclusion and organizational growth also. So, what we did, we, as a team, identified the risk matrix to roll out this C-shift for leadership managers. And from this risk matrix, we have identified some points so that this point is directly connected with the safety and the security of our female colleagues. So what we did, we had an initial week of observation while Bushra, along with our leadership team, did the night shift with rotation and get the feedback from Bushra and the team. And what we did after the feedback, we built a facility for lady managers with restricted access, and we also deployed security personnel in the shop floor, so that our lady colleagues feel safer in the shop floor. Then we assessed the lighting system across the factory, and we also installed closed circuit cameras so that every corner can be covered through this closed circuit camera. So in the end, we also arranged walkie-talkie.
Yes, I know walkie-talkie.
And sometimes there may be power failure also, so that they can be connected in that situation also. This rollout is a game changer for factory, and also it will be game changer for Unilever Bangladesh also in the upcoming days.
So I think diversity and inclusion is more than just a phrase to me.
Yes.
Upon working at Unilever about 2.5 years ago, I wanted to be sure I was engaged in activities that were driving this initiative forward and working on programming that impacted the function in which I worked. So after being a member of the Person of Color Pillar for Supply Chain D&I stepped up to co-lead last year with one of my peers, CHRO. Within this group, we were committed to supporting employees of color through building supportive networks, one of which is the sponsorship program. So through the sponsorship program, we connected work level 1 women of color with work level 3 leaders within the supply chain that are partners in assisting the work level 1s with guiding them and accelerating their careers through and identifying developmental opportunities.
Very good.
This gives women just a definite support system, ways that they can go ahead and bounce ideas off of and really understand what it takes to progress, not only from level to level, but through different functions within the supply chain as well.
Very good. And how have your colleagues benefited from this program? I'm really keen to understand.
Definitely. So we launched this program maybe a year ago. And since the launch of this program, we've had 2 Black women promoted to work level 2, which was something that we saw in previous years. And then several women of various backgrounds taking on broadening roles to further develop within the function of supply chain.
And Michael, you've proven that if we give equal hiring opportunities, we achieve gender balance. How do you do this? What actions did you take? How did you make sure all this happens?
I work for the plantations in East Africa.
Yes.
And the plantation environment is a bit unique and different in its own perspectives. Historically, it's been a very male-dominated field in terms of roles, in terms of the nature of jobs that are done. So we started off with recruitment, and we thought it was important we drive more of a strategic campaign or advert that appeals to female candidates.
Yes.
And the key thing for us was to emphasize on those unique attributes that makes Unilever a preferred employer. So talking about our MAPS program, the maternity and paternity support program, we already had a daycare center on site, which most companies do not have. We also have the agile and flexi working arrangements. So these were very positive attributes that we thought if we should highlight and bring to the limelight, this will appeal to female candidates to see Unilever as a company that truly embraces diversity. So that is how we managed to attract very good females to the company. And in terms of driving retention and minimizing outflow, we also made sure that we assigned mentors to all our work level 2+ female managers.
Very good.
Where they get the opportunity of getting mentoring and getting coaching, life experiences with some successful female senior leaders who could help them to actually break the glass ceiling in the workplace. And then we also put in place a quarterly female network forum where we bring in external female corporate entrepreneurs, females who have really made it out there, regardless of any difficulties or challenges they went through, as a way of making it real and also easing the pressure of our female employees to know that the workplace, so long as you've got the zeal and the determination, you'll be able to make it regardless of whatever bottlenecks or challenges there are in the work.
I'm really inspired by your stories. It shows me that we all have the opportunity to make an impact. We can all drive change. And that's so inspiring because I believe in human potential. I believe all of us have infinite capacity. So have you inspired some of your colleagues? Can you give me some examples? And I want to hear all 4 of you. Who have you inspired?
For me, it's the Unlock, the D&I campaign. And there's this TED speaker called Simon Sinek who talks about the why. And that really getting them to understand the why was actually the catch, and that helped. In the beginning, it was a bit difficult because they still held the notion that a female cannot do this or that because of the difficult terrain or the challenges in the plantation. But we brought in a female engineering manager that has never happened in the plantation.
Yes.
And with the right support structure, she landed in the job, hit the ground running from day one.
Very good.
And she's been a success story, and that really has been an inspiration. Starting with the D&I story, and also bringing in few female managers with the right support structure who also came in and they really linked the billing, and that has really been an inspiration for us in the plantation.
I think to follow up on that, in my quest for development, I use the Person of Color pillar as an opportunity to engage my peers, impact many as a peer-to-peer mentor, and work on projects with different levels of leadership within the organization. This has inspired those around to seek feedback, communicate confidently, and balance working on their day-to-day job while working on projects that impact the entire Unilever community. So I think for me, my impact has really been on my peers. That you can, regardless of what level someone is, you can go start a conversation about your passion and move the needle forward in making the workplace an inclusive environment where everyone's talents can flourish. I have shown people that you can birth an idea, get people on your side, and really drive to make impact in other folks' lives.
What our project has delivered is, I believe, it has created a cultural shift in here.
Yes.
The mindset of people have shifted from around 180 degrees in the last 8 months. Now, after 8 months, I'm seeing the same people saying, "Oh, we have this Bushra madam does night shifts, so she has done it. Why not others are doing it?"
Nice.
And we're such a factory that are very much friendly to women. The women in our factory are leaders.
In fact, this is exactly what happens. When you become a game changer, you inspire people internally, you inspire people externally, you inspire your families, and it just becomes a huge movement that drives change. So I'm so proud of all of you. You can feel it and see it. I'm truly, truly proud of all of you. I've enjoyed every moment of the journey in the last 25, 27 years. And where I grew up, it was the same thing, A girl can't do this, a girl can't do that, a girl can't study. My mother used to say, if you study so much, who's going to marry you? So it was, those constraints and all of those, and I could relate so much to all of your stories because too many people tell us that you can't dream, you can't do this, you can't do that. There are very few people who tell us you can do this, it's okay. And that's why people like you are so important, because you're game changers, you inspire others through your actions, and you support others through your actions. And collectively, when all of us become game changers, is when Unilever will be the best and the brightest place to work in for each and every single person. Because I believe everyone has infinite potential, but you need to create a workplace and an environment and an inclusive place where everybody can bring their best selves to work.